Hello, and this is an introduction to my exploration of the role that I've chosen, the stakeholders involved, and the context that they work within and how they interact. In this first slide you can see the stakeholders that I've come up with, which are the definite stakeholders involved in an exploration. The person in orange, who is the main stakeholder here, is the explorer, which is the role I've chosen. Next to him is the rest of the exploration team that would be involved. To the right of the explorer is the person with the small baby, and that is the family of all the explorers involved. The other stakeholder that would have to taken into account is the funding body, who would provide the investment, and they're represented by the money. Then there's the local government of the site, and they're represented by the policy documents. And then in the distance there is the giraffe, which represents the environment that the exploration team's going into. So that would be vegetation, animals, insects, any part of the environment that may be affected by the exploration. Looking at these individually, the explorer and his team are obviously going to have interaction and communication to work effectively as a team and achieve what they set out to do as part of the exploration. The explorer's family are going to be a main stakeholder, and they've overlapped with the exploration team on this diagram, as they are obviously going to be concerned with the welfare and health and safety of their family members that are going to be on the exploration. The funding body are going to be external to the environment of exploration, but they are going to overlap with the exploration team, as they want to be of where their money's going and the investment that they're making. They want this exploration to be successful. They want to make sure the money's used wisely, and they want to be aware if any additional funds are going to be needed. The local government are going to need to interact with the exploration team. Their main concern with the exploration team is making sure, in terms of the explorer, they're going to make sure that they've got permission from the local government to carry out their exploration. The government are going to be concerned about the impact it's going to have on the area. They obviously want it to be a good exploration and have good outcomes for everybody, and they want any reporting back of the study, whether it be in journals or in a TV documentary. They want their local area to be shown in a good light. Next to this, obviously, the environment, although they can't have a say alone, there is going to be a big influence from the exploration team that they go in there and have the minimal impact on the environment they're going to be exploring, and this needs to be taken into serious consideration when taking part in these explorations. In the next slide, I've included the community. This is one of those stakeholders that may or not be present at the exploration site. For example, Antarctica would not have an established community present, but if you're going into the jungle, there may well be native villages that are already set in the exploration site, and they need to be taken into consideration. There needs to be communication with the community and the exploration team to make sure that they're not going to be causing any issues in the work that they're going to be doing, and they're not going to hinder the normal working pattern of the community that lives there. And the local government are going to interact with the community, because they want to make sure that the people that live within their community are happy with the exploration that's going to be undertaken. On the next slide is one of the other intermittent stakeholders that may or may not be present, and that is a representative of a conservation or environmental group such as the WWF, Friends of the Earth, or something like the National Park Service, who may be within the exploration site looking at a certain animal, certain area of vegetation, or just generally looking at the whole site as an area of conservation. So there will be specific sort of limitations they may put on an exploration. There might be areas that the explorers won't be able to go into, and they need to the explorers need to set up a line of communication with any environmental group involved. In terms of the environmental group, I've put an arrow from the funding body to the environmental conservation group. They may stipulate that as allowing them to interact with where they're working, that the funding body contribute some money towards their work to show willing in their exploration. The environmental group will also already probably have contacts with any local government that are present, and the explorers may be able to help in continuing good relations, but also the environmental group may be able to help the explorers in making communication with the local government so that they can understand how they work. The next slide shows the final stakeholder which may or may not be involved in the exploration, and that's any TV or media group. And here this stakeholder could have mixed reactions with its presence. With regards to the explorers, they will obviously need to be in the same area of the site of the exploration and be part of the team documenting the work, and the explorers want them to be there to promote the work and not become a hindrance. The family will also have some overlap with the film TV stakeholder, because they want to make sure that their family members are shown in a good light, and they'll also be very wary of any family member potentially being attributed to a celebrity status because of being involved in any TV or media. The funding body, they will also have some involvement with the TV and media. Obviously it will help promote the work and help maybe raise funds to whichever funding body is providing the cash, and they want to make sure that they're seen in a positive light, and it may help in promoting future explorations further down the line that they might well fund. The other people to take into consideration with the film, TV and media, again, is the local government, and this is because they will obviously want the area to be shown in a positive light, so they will want to be involved in any decisions that are made in how the exploration is filmed and in what light the area is shown in. And finally, the main stakeholder that the film and TV media crew stakeholder have to be taking into consideration is the actual environment that they're going to be filming in. They obviously want to make sure that they're not going to do anything that's going to hold back or interfere in any way and serve any detriment to the environment that the exploration is being undertaken in. In this next slide, I've looked at the interaction of the main stakeholders with the presence of the environmental group and the community. Now, a lot of the interaction will be the same as what I've already discussed, but in this section obviously there will be the additional interaction of the conservation group working with any of the local community. It might be that the community provide support to the conservation group. They might have volunteers or even paid workers from the community who work for the conservation group to maintain security or help with field work that the conservation group's doing. And having this link may benefit the exploration in that the conservation group may be able to improve links between the explorers and the community might even become happy with the extent that they may provide some help with the exploration, whether it be providing a guide or somebody with local knowledge who could just provide that extra information that they may need to make their exploration successful. In this next slide, this is where the community and this film and TV media group are interacting with the rest of the stakeholders. And in this context, the main point to be taken is how the community react to their area being filmed. They may not want to be filmed in any way, shape or form, but they may welcome the film. They may welcome the media group to promote their community in a positive light, and therefore maybe bring tourism to the area, and therefore bring additional funds that may help their community thrive. In this next context, here we have the environmental group and the film and TV group interacting with the rest of the stakeholders. And in this section, the main point, as well as all the other interactions that are going to be going on, is the interaction between the TV and media group and the environmental group. This needs to be one of harmony and positive. The TV and media group are going to be encroaching on the conservation group's territory, and they have the environment's needs in their best interests. So obviously they will have strict stipulations on where the TV and media group can film. It might be that they have to restrict if there are animals or vegetation or insects that are our endangered species, so that they don't encounter situations where the presence of these could be found out to the public and therefore make it even more a problem to keep these protected species. And also the environmental group want to be seen in a positive light. And in this final slide, this just summarises all the stakeholders that may be involved if an exploration is to take part in a particular area. So there will be the main stakeholders, and may well be the community, the environmental group and the film and TV group. And in this example, there are a lot of factors and stakeholders to be taken into consideration. There's going to be a lot of interaction, a lot of communication, and therefore a lot of problems. And from this slide it can be seen that the actual setting up and planning of an exploration could potentially be a very long and drawn out process before the exploration even begins. But hopefully it would be a positive outcome and the exploration would be successful. But these considerations need to be taken into account. Thank you.